Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to another episode of What's Going On Here. My name is Tomo Loverick, or T-Love, as I am known in mattress box circles. So there you go. And with me, as always, I have the illustrious, flock of seagulls, if you will, our member from the UK, Mr. Sean Quigley, aka the Quig, as he is known in dietitian circles. Sean, how are you, sir? How are things?
I'm good. As you alluded to, I am currently on the Weight Watchers program. Although we don't call it Weight Watchers anymore.
What do we call it?
It's now just known as WW.
WW?
Yeah. WW. It's just WW. Yeah. It's just whoa. Just whoa. That's how it's known as now. They dropped the Weight Watchers. Yeah. I also got myself a new pair of glasses.
They're pretty sharp, I gotta say. They're freezing up a little bit. They're pretty sharp. Uh-oh. Yeah. We might have a show because there's a thunderstorm coming through and like everything's freezing up on my end over here. So, yeah.
Oh dear.
Yeah. So Wawa. So then possibly if you're drunk, you might wander into a Wawa at a gas station and think all that stuff is like on your chart, and you might just eat a bunch of Cheetos by mistake.
Perhaps. I mean, that could. Yeah. I mean, I feel like my chances since being on the program, the likelihood of me ending up dead at the bottom of a ditch somewhere, covered in Cheeto dust, has gone up dramatically compared to last week.
Well, if we were hoping on getting an endorsement from Willa, I don't know if that's going to lead to it. And with us, as always, we have the young buck, if you will, the neatly shorn young man who right now looks like he is a welterweight champion of Utica, New York, Mr. Andrew Albagees, or AA as he's known in barber circles. How are you, Andrew? How are things?
I'm good, guys. Got this nice quarantine cut. I haven't had my hair this short in at least, I don't know, 8 years, something like that. I've had pretty much the same, keeping the flow going, always trying to look nice, and quarantine comes and hits, and I mean, it still doesn't look bad, I don't think, but, you know, I had to get rid of it. Too much, couldn't go to the barber, so buzzed it all right off, just in time for summer, nice and cool.
Nice. Yeah, that always is the best. I like that. I appreciate that. Okay, so folks, in case you don't know, we are a podcast that finds something in the popular zeitgeist in pop culture. We review it, and we try to kind of work it over, put it through the compost of thought and philosophy, and try to serve it to you on a plate of vegetable goodness. That's called What's Going On Here. And also the most important part of the show is we review drinks of various sorts, whether they be beer, wine, mixed drinks, spirits, etc., cocktails, that kind of stuff. Adult beverages, if you will. Hashtag adult beverages. So before we get to our subject for today, we will introduce our beer that we are reviewing today. And today it is from Southern Tier Brewing Company, which is based in Lakewood, New York. And we are sampling the NuJuice IPA, which is a juicy India Pale Ale. The boys have cans, I have a bottle because my store didn't have the can pack, so I had to get the bottle pack. Like I said, they're based in Lakewood, New York, and this is a 6% ABV beer with IBU of 30. So, gents, before we start everything, shall we give our listeners the sound that they so crave?
I think so.
Ready? Countdown? 3, 2, 1. There we go. Now, for those of you listeners, right now I'm looking through the bottle. It looks like a fairly clear drink. It looks like it has good carbonation. I'm going to taste it. Gents, cheers.
Cheers, guys.
There we go. And here we go. Wow. Wow.
I'm not mad about it.
No, this is a nice beer, but in the pattern of like all these beers that we get, this is not quite. If you had just given this to me and asked me if I could classify which beer it was, I would not classify it as an IPA. This kind of tastes lagerish to me.
Yeah, it does have a little.
Or maybe I'm imagining things.
I mean, it's probably the lightest out of, me and Andrew tried slightly more variants than you. It's definitely probably the not as strong as the other IPAs they have in the pack, I guess.
Yeah. I think two others in there?
I'm getting it now. I'm getting the hoppiness now after a couple of gulps. It's a slow burn, I guess. I'm getting it now.
But it's definitely it's on the lower end, 6% compared to most IPAs. So pretty.
But you know what? This doesn't drink like a 6%. If you give this to me, I would have thought this was a 4.5.
Yeah, it's kind of, it feels a little light. Not like flavor wise, but just as you drink it, it goes down.
Yeah.
Yeah, I could drink a few of these.
Yeah. Well, like you said, I'm not bad about it. This is a very nice beer. What can I say? And before we carry on with the show, we definitely want to acknowledge everything that's happening in the world right now, particularly all the protests because of George Floyd. And we just want to tell people, educate yourselves.
Mm-hmm.
If you can, help out where you can, because change is long overdue, because what happened there was criminal and there's just no two ways about it.
Yeah, exactly.
So, So without bringing everything down, remember, support people of color, speak up, try to get some change out there, because if we don't make ourselves better, no one else can.
Absolutely. And there are ways to do it that aren't just posting on social media.
Yeah, absolutely.
There are ways to do it too, that if protesting is your thing, that's your thing, and that's great. If you're someone that's not, there's tons of great organizations that are working towards this that you can look into donating and
or even join and volunteer or whatever. Yeah.
Exactly.
There's a lot of lists out there. I read a couple of interesting lists of stuff I would have thought that is a lot more helpful than anything you post on Facebook. Like you said, for example, like try and look into whether your local police precinct to see whether they have what procedures they have. You can ring them and ask them like what procedures they have for de-escalation training and for all these other elements that they may or may not be doing. Like you can ring them with a view of saying, okay, you should be doing this, doing that, and oh, that's interesting.
Yeah.
So,
So now, that being said, and it seems kind of like callous to switch just subjects, but we are trying to entertain folks and make them laugh. Our subject today is Florida Man. Those of you that don't know Florida Man, it's not just a meme. There's actually a whole website, and I don't know if you guys know, floridaman.com. And just collects, and there's even a book, and on the cover of the book is a guy with like, I think a beer and a gun, and he's riding an alligator that's jumping over like a convertible car with palm trees in the background. And this guy lists like every Florida Man like printing ever. So today what we're doing, we're trying to break down what goes on. We each have like an article or two that we're going to just read and talk about and try to break down and enjoy our beer, and then give you grades for our beer. And we are audio, and this time we're video again, so this will be going up on our YouTube channel, so tune in. And you will be able to catch tomorrow night, because tonight is, well, obviously this won't be ready for tomorrow night. So it is June 4th, correct, Andrew?
Yes, June 4th. So I guess probably for anyone by the time they listen to this, the premiere will have happened. But starting June 4th at 8 p.m. So if you're listening to this anytime after that, my new short film, Move On, will be live on YouTube for your viewing pleasure. So, find my social media, which is just at Andrew Albagees on any platform. I'll be posting it there. Or just search Move On and my name on YouTube and it should come up. But it should be fun.
I highly recommend it because I've seen like the rough cut of it, and this is a very, very funny film. And in fact, I was there at the conception of the film. This is sounding like dirty, like me and Andrew had like a love affair.
The script, if any of our listeners are interested, the script I wrote, when was that? 6 years ago? No, 2016. So 4 years ago?
4 years ago.
4 years ago, Tomo and I were in a filmmaking class together, and one of our first assignments was to write just a short, no more than 5 pages script.
Yep.
I turned up with this script for Move On, which took place almost entirely in a studio apartment with only 2 characters. And so when quarantine hit, prior to this, I'd never thought I'd do anything with the script. Quarantine hit, and I was looking for, some creative outlet, and I had this script lying around, and I have my studio apartment, and the rest is history.
Absolutely. Okay, so Florida Man, who wants to go first with what article and how many articles do you have? Sean, what do you got? You got 1 or 2?
I did. Okay, so what did I find? I couldn't find. Oh, sorry. It was a big wind gust.
Yes, it's pouring rain here right now.
I couldn't find very big articles. I don't know if you have different things than I found.
No, they're not very big articles. They're short things generally.
Oh. Yeah. Okay. One of mine, it's gone now. I don't think I can find it, but one that I quite liked was about a man with half a head.
What?
Half head man. Apparently, he's famous among this police station in Florida, and he'd struck again, being generally crazy. What happened to this gentleman is he had he'd gotten in a car accident.
Ooh.
And his car hit a tree, and he'd had an operation where they had to remove the front third of his skull.
Whoa.
And then fuse it all back together.
Oh, jeez.
He ended up losing like an eighth of his brain. But he's still fine. But it's right in the front. So all his sort of decision making is very fucked. So the guy, his face is like, it goes like in the back of his head, and then it's like a flat slope.
Oh,
and then you have his eyebrows, and then it's just like a flat slope to like this part of his head.
Jesus.
Yeah, it was quite something. And it was a mugshot of him like half a head.
What did poor bastard do?
I don't know, but the thing is, apparently, he keeps turning up because he's missing half his fucking head.
I'm gonna Google this right now while you're talking because I gotta see this.
Oh my god! Hold on. Keep talking. I have to do something. I'll be right back. Keep talking. Go ahead.
Wow.
Oh, did you find him?
I think so.
Yeah, he's an interesting looking fellow.
And he keeps committing crimes, so like the police officers know him.
Yep. Yeah, he keeps committing crimes.
Was he involved in a life of crime before losing half his head, or is this
I don't think so. I think he had the car accident, and then he turned into this criminal gentleman. I think that is, I think that's the thing.
No.
I'm trying to find the original article. I can't find it. This is a complicated website. This website doesn't do very well on my phone. What is that? I don't know. Half man head. Let's see if I can find it again. Half head man? Half head man. Is that him? Oh yeah. Okay. Yeah. Infamous Florida man with half a head. He looks a bit like David Blaine.
Yes,
But
this is the one I found. Okay.
trying to get a good shot for the people at home. There you go. I'll leave this on the screen for when Tomo gets back, just so he can appreciate the optics of this. I'll just leave this here. Yeah, he's a bit of a troublemaker, as you can see from the look in his face as well. He's got a bit
This
of a...
says, if I'm reading it correct, infamous Florida man with half a head arrested for attempted murder. Is that right?
Oh, okay. Oh, this is a different article. Is this a different article? This might be another one. It might be another one of his crimes. I think the one I saw where he was just being... he's facing arson and attempted murder charges for allegedly setting his mattress on fire. Yep. Allegedly set his mattress on fire.
So who? Oh, maybe there was someone else in the house or something.
Yeah, maybe it doesn't exist. I can't get the article anymore. It's dead.
Mm-hmm.
It's a dead article. But he's a great looking man. He's a great looking man. I'll leave this on here for Tomo. There he is. That crazy looking.
So what sorry, I had to step away for a minute. So what is he getting arrested for?
Allegedly, well, he's facing arson and attempted murder charges for allegedly setting his mattress on fire.
What's the murder charge for?
I was wondering the same thing.
Andrew speculated perhaps there are other people in where he lives.
And it was going to burn the place down and kill somebody else, maybe?
Very good. Okay. All right. You want me to read mine? I got two. So I'll go to the first one that really captured my attention. Let's see. November 18th, this is 2019. Following his arrest for possession of a hypodermic needle containing methamphetamine, a 380-pound Florida man was hit with additional felony charges after jail personnel discovered a bag of meth wedged deep within the belly button cavity of the defendant, according to a court affidavit.
Ooh.
Here's the beauty here, right there. That's our guy. And to just kind of give you, well, let me just keep on reading, and then we can discuss. Police responding late Friday to a suspicious person call placed by employees of a McDonald's in Clearwater arrested Martin Skelly when a search of the 41-year-old St. Petersburg resident turned up the loaded needle. Following Skelly's collar for possession of narcotics and drug paraphernalia, cops asked him if he was in possession of any other contraband, since he could face additional charges if he brought illegal items into the county jail. Seen above, Skelly denied having any additional contraband on his person. However, during intake processing at the jail, Skelly was subjected to a thorough body search that resulted in the discovery of a small plastic bag containing 2.7 grams of meth. A jail deputy reported that the baggie was wedged deep within the belly button cavity of the 5'8" defendant.
Deep in the cavity. I mean, look, I'm sure Tomo, me and you we could try our best to get something there, but Andrew, I can't imagine.
No, first of all, no. The only thing Andrew can smuggle in his belly button is acid, because he could just do that. But I just want you to listen to this description. This guy's 5'8".
That's a big boy. That's my height, roughly.
And 380 pounds. What do you weigh, Andrew? $165, $170?
Well, I'm actually about 5'7", and between 150, 155.
Okay. At my heaviest, I was 235 at 6 feet. And I just looked like a guy with a big old belly. Now imagine adding 150 fucking pounds of just shit to me.
So,
and I find it hard to believe that it's only 2.8 grams. I want to say this dude could have smuggled 2.8 kilograms, that fucking gut, because holy shit. And I don't mean to be fat shaming, but you're 5'8" and 380 pounds. There's an issue here.
I think if you can physically store anything other than lint in your belly button,
right?
I mean, I'm not sure if that's a problem or if that's a skill, but
it's
not normal.
No, it's not normal. And let me finish the article, and I'll come back to that. After the meth stash was found around 1:45 a.m. Saturday, Skelly reportedly told an investigator, "I was just being dumb and not thinking." The discovery of the hidden meth resulted in 2 additional felony charges being filed against Skelly: introducing contraband into a correctional facility and narcotics possession. He is locked up in lieu of $9,150 bond. Skelly's criminal record includes a 3-year stretch in state prison for cocaine trafficking and busts for theft, drunk driving, narcotics possession, violating probation, and possession of drug paraphernalia. All right. So this is a career small-time criminal.
Maybe he forgot. Maybe he forgot that he had stored the drugs there in his belly button.
It's possible. You know what? They might have removed the cheeseburger to get there. They just didn't tell us that there was a fucking cheeseburger as packing. You know, like the way they used to pack the cannons, and then they had to put the pod in? That's what the cheeseburger was. It was just there to do that. But if either of you guys watched Kids in the Hall,
no.
It was a sketch comedy show, Canadian sketch comedy show, a la Monty Python, but a much later Canadian version. And a lot of guys you see on TV today are from that sketch show. Famously, what was the comedy show with Joe Rogan and Phil Hartman? Talk Radio, was it?
Oh yeah. Yeah, I think it was.
He was like the lead guy, the programmer. He was from that sketch troupe. What the hell were they called? Brain Candy? I forget. Anyway, they had a sketch where a guy had a giant belly, and he would get stuff stuck in this giant belly button, and he'd be like, "Oh, let me see what else I got in there." And he would it was this prosthetic thing that was literally like 2 feet long, and he would take like a bamboo skewer and like dig around in there, and then like pull out like a chicken wing, and then like pull out like all sorts of like a can of beer, and it was disgusting because they made it like almost like a horror movie effect, and that's what this reminds me of. Mr. Skelly is basically a reincarnation of that sketch.
I feel like put things in there. Like you could probably, you know, if it was already in a bag and it was in there on a hot day, and if you like did a bit of exercise, you can maybe put a little bit of chicken breast in there and then end up with a boil in the bag chicken.
It's like a slow cooker.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Excuse me. It is a slow cooker. It absolutely is a slow cooker. Oh my goodness. I mean, you know, this is the one thing that I always laugh about. So you're into petty crime. You really couldn't find a better place to hide some drugs than your belly button? But I guess the thought is, and I mean, career criminals, please, you know, email us and let us know what we're getting wrong here. I guess the thought is, well, the asshole is the first thing they're going to search.
Drop and cough. Yeah.
Right? So I guess if you got the goods, man, you got to stash them. And he had the space.
I think there must have been a mistake. Like, I don't think anybody's going around searching it inside your belly button like that. It must have been peeking out, or like he must have like sneezed and it just
something
out.
Right. How did it pop out? Right, exactly. So I right now I'm looking up to see what that BMI is at 5'8" and 380 pounds. Because I think still at my BMI, I'm a $195 now. And they tell me that I'm like obese, I believe. Because they're full of shit. BMI doesn't like work well. But let's see what the National Health Institute says.
Do we think he's
5'8" and your weight 380 pounds? Compute BMI. Fuck.
Dead. Brick wall.
It's 57.8 is your BMI. All right. So, Andrew, let's go with yours just to get a comparison here at the same height. 5'7", what did you say, $155 on a heavy day?
I say put 150.
150.
Lately, that's where I've been sitting, so.
Okay. 20.5.
Is that good?
No, that's a good BMI. Absolutely, that's good BMI. Let's see for myself. Let's see. 6 foot. I just weighed myself the other day. $195. 26.4 is my BMI. And I'm not like Slimmy Slim guy by any stretch of the imagination, but a BMI of 57.8.
I hate to tell you guys, but I win. I win.
Okay, well, we're giving it to you.
I got the high numbers there.
You know what it is, Sean? It's all that caber tossing in the Highland games that you go to. That's what that's all about. So
I can't believe you're 195.
what's
Damn.
that?
I said I can't believe you're 195.
Yeah, dude, I dropped about 25 pounds in the last, probably since Christmas or so.
Damn.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
I'm like, 200 pounds is like my average.
Cat.
Yeah. All right, Andrew, you want to regale us with your Florida man?
Sure, just one? I've got two.
No, I've got two also. Yeah, we'll circulate. We'll come back to another one. Yeah.
Okay. All right, so this one is, the second one I have is really hardcore Florida man. This one's a little bit more tame, but it's still interesting. I don't know if you guys are familiar with, sometimes people say like, punch in your birthday and then Florida man and see what comes up.
Oh, yeah, sure.
Everybody kind of gets their own personalized one. Not too much came up. This one article came up. It did not occur on the day of my birthday, but the article was posted on my birthday in 2018.
Okay.
I will start with the headline. He had a bad reaction to meth, so he asked cops for their help. So this man had a bad reaction to meth, and he went to the police to report it, basically. It might not have been the best idea this Florida man ever had. According to Putnam County Sheriff's Office, Douglas Peter Kelly of Hawthorne in northern Florida contacted deputies on Tuesday with a complaint. He said that he thought he'd been sold bad drugs. The police report on Facebook states that the man told deputies that he purchased methamphetamine about a week earlier and had suffered a violent reaction after taking it. That's not all. The suspect went on to demand that the detectives in the narcotics division test it for him to see if it was cut with something or if he'd been sold something else. If Kelly was indeed sold the wrong narcotic, the suspect said he wanted to press charges against the dealer. Deputies told the 49-year-old to come to the station and they would oblige him. The reporter said Kelly drove to the sheriff's office, handed detectives a clear, crystal-like substance wrapped in aluminum foil. The substance field tested positive for methamphetamine, the drug Kelly intended to purchase. Though Kelly could rest easy knowing he bought the real deal, he was, nonetheless, arrested. He was charged with drug possession, walked over to Putnam County Jail, and held at $5,000 bond. Officers did not charge Kelly for the test.
I like that. They did not charge him for the test. Well, that's kind of them.
Putnam County Jail. That sounds like the sequel to the popular musical, the Putnam County Spelling Bee.
Oh, oh. For all the kids who couldn't get into the spelling bee, that's where they are now.
I didn't realize that the birthday thing. As I just quickly did mine out of curiosity. Mine from last year was, it's only a little one. A Florida man threatens to kill neighbors with kindness. He was arrested for aggravated battery and aggravated assault after he threatened to kill 2 neighbors with kindness. It later came out in the interrogation that kindness. He meant his machete, which was called kindness.
Oh, you can't make this shit up.
I was just trying to kindness.
No, this is no. You definitely can't. You definitely can't make this shit up. This is for God's sake. Killing me. That's almost like a bad villain in a Van Damme movie.
Yeah.
Oh, I get to use kindness on you. I'm gonna kill you with kindness. Uh-oh, Andrew. You
Hello.
disappeared all of a sudden.
Sorry, I just turned my air conditioner on, but if you guys hear it and it seems like it's messing with the sound, I'll turn it off, but it's a little toasty in here.
No, I don't hear it.
Kind of sweaty and shiny, but
Wow. Should I leave again? Maybe you guys want to be alone for a bit?
Kill him with kindness.
Kill him with kindness. Oh, man. There it is again. Look, it's like a little warp thing on Star Trek Next Generation, isn't it?
it's like the multiverse just breaking.
Yes. It is. That is trippy. Oh, he just ruined it. Are you trying to see? You can't. You're in the way, man.
It looked like a cool office. It's like a Google office.
Yes.
It's like an office, but there's like a Star Wars poster in the background.
It is. Oh, all right. So here's my second Florida man. I'm not going to even read the title because the title kind of gives it away. And it is at the same time hilarious and so disturbing. So I'm not going to read the article title. Let's see. That one didn't have it. I'm gonna credit this one because there's credit here for the journalist Tasha Kane from WFAA reported this. Manatee County, I guess, Florida. So this is not the title. This is what's written underneath the article title. The man thought he was being robbed, but the intruder was there for something much different. Bradenton, Florida. A Florida man woke up in the middle of the night to find another man sucking on his toes, according to the Manatee County Sheriff's Office. Deputies say the man was sleeping in his bed in Bradenton when he woke up and realized he wasn't alone. The man told deputies he assumed he was being robbed, so he told the intruder he didn't have any money. And this is my favorite part in the article. It's italicized, this next sentence. But money wasn't what he was there for. The intruder told the man he was there to suck on his toes, according to an investigation write-up. That's when the man punched the accused toe sucker and forced him outside, according to investigators. While the two brawled, the man who sucked the toes told the man he had a gun and tried to fondle him, according to investigators. The man continued to hit the intruder for about 30 seconds before running inside and calling 911, deputies said. At this point, the intruder broke out the front window of the home and stomped on the other man's car's windshield until it broke, deputies said. Investigators said the toe-sucking man took off, so they tried to track him with a canine, but were unable to find him.
So he's still at large?
I guess. This was January 3rd. Maybe COVID got him at this point.
Sucking on all those toes.
His toes?
That's the thing, COVID toes. You heard about
COVID toes, absolutely.
Oh.
On that note, good night, guys. Have a good sleep tonight.
Yeah, that's a weird. Yeah.
And to people outside the U.S., there's a reason why Florida is shaped like North America's Wang, you know? And this is probably it. these guys.
Yeah.
I mean,
very distant. I've only been to Florida once in my life. When I was a kid, and I went to Disney, and it was the best holiday I ever had. And there were very limited, crazy things going on outside of, prescribed craziness, Disney craziness.
right.
But on the other side of things, I couldn't see who was inside those Mickey Mouse costumes. So could have been the half head guy. Like,
he's probably too young.
Yeah, that's true.
But I mean, Goofy was definitely a Skelly with the belly button.
That could have been the
So
case.
you probably got hugged by Skelly. It's a good thing. Did you lose anything while you were down there, like a little toy or something?
My virginity?
Wow. Okay. I didn't realize you went with Kevin Spacey. All right. Very nice. Okay, then. So, Andrew, you got a second Florida Man article for us?
I do. And like yours, Tomo, it is equal parts. It's just very disturbing.
Okay.
But in its own, in a Florida Man way,
okay.
It's a little funny.
Okay.
Maybe I'll do like you and just read it. Let me see.
Yeah, do it.
Brevard County. This is from CBS Miami. A Florida man remains jailed on charges of stealing pool floats for sex, quote, instead of raping women, end quote. That's where we start. According to Florida Today, the Palm Bay Police Department stopped Christopher Monin, 35, as he was riding his bike around 1:30 a.m. He was acting suspicious, according to a police report, and police found he had garbage bags full of deflated pool flakes. Monin allegedly admitted to going into the backyards of homes and stealing their pool toys. About 75 floats were found in Monin's possession, police say. The report says that Monin stated that he sexually gratifies himself with the pool floats instead of raping women. Monin is currently at the Brevard County Jail, charged with burglary of an occupied dwelling, criminal mischief, and petty theft. Florida man, people.
Doing everybody a favor, basically.
Yeah. I mean, he's not raping women, so...
he's doing a public service. I don't know why we're bitching on this guy. This guy's a hero.
And he was honest about it. He owned up to it.
He owned up to it, absolutely. I mean, what's wrong? This guy, a shining example. That's what they say on the Florida Man website. This is Florida Man. If you go on Google and type in Florida Man, this is floridaman.com. And underneath the heading for the website says, worst superhero ever. That's the heading, yeah.
I wonder, did someone report, I mean, they said the cops were looking for him. They found him riding his bike. Did someone report him, like, just for stealing pool floats, and then he confessed to this? Did someone catch him in the act, in their yard, around their pool, doing said things before he fled with the floats? That's another thing. He brought them home with him. So, he didn't hit it.
Maybe he was into recycling?
He wasn't just looking for gratification. He wanted something more with these floats.
Long term.
Maybe he wanted to make a piñata of sorts.
How do you think he did it? Did he?
What was that, Sean?
How do you think he?
I'm trying to. Yeah, that's what I'm wondering. So we should probably discuss amongst all of us and try and determine what we think they mean by pool floats. Do you think they mean like the ones that wrap around your arm, like the little kids have, like floaties? Or I initially was thinking in my head like those noodles, the long pool noodles.
I didn't think about the noodles.
Thinking like inflatable killer whale with hands. That's what I'm thinking.
Ride a Lorca. Yeah, that's a good one. I'm glad you gave this some thought, Sean. Thank you for letting us into your psyche a little bit there. That's really good.
But like the crocodile, the big alligators. Just he's a Florida man.
Maybe he didn't discriminate.
No.
Maybe with any and every pool float.
Well, like I said, he's a hero, man, because he kept himself off the street doing the awful thing to women. So
it's perfect.
There was another one when I was looking for the articles, and some dude got caught raping Olaf, inflated Olaf from Frozen. It's like, what? And then one of the other articles listed, guy broke into a dude's house and started making breakfast. And when the homeowner came out, he told him to shut up and go back to sleep. And I'm like, dude, like cooked eggs and sausages. And I'm like, well, I guess when you're hungry, man, and there's a line at IHOP, you just help yourself.
Did he offer the homeowner any, or he ate it?
I don't know. I didn't read the whole article, but I was just like fascinated with all these things. And one guy who looked absolutely crazed was breaking stuff and said Trump owed him like $1 trillion.
Huh.
After busting up a bunch of stuff. So,
like,
I always want to. So okay. So we got 6 crazy cases here, right? What makes people do this? Besides the obvious, easy drugs answer, right? Because we'll end up sounding like the counselor from South Park. Drugs are bad, McClellan. You shouldn't take any drugs, McClellan. They're really bad, McClellan. So, what else could? I mean, one of the articles, like a dude punched a police dog because he was trying to start a riot. I'm like, you punched the police dog? Well, why would that start a riot? The dog's just going to bite you. What are you doing? And why would you punch a dog, asshole? You know?
I wouldn't mess with dogs in Florida. I read one of the articles I read that it was a bit depressing in general, but it was fairly interesting, at least in its premise, was that this big, scary, mean man was trying to shoot a bunch of puppies because he had puppies and couldn't find a home for them. So he was going to shoot all these puppies. And in the process of shooting the puppies, he got shot by a puppy. The very gun he was using to shoot puppies with. He had like a puppy in this arm and a puppy in this arm, and he was going to shoot this puppy, and then this puppy got his paw and like got the trigger and shot him in the wrist where he was holding the other puppy. He went to hospital.
Good puppy, good dog.
I was hoping he was going to get killed.
The
guy, that is.
There is that. But speaking of Florida men and Florida people, did you hear the good news in reference to one of our prior episodes?
Oh, yes, I did. Yes.
What am I missing?
What's her face? Hey, you cool cats and kittens. What's her name?
That bitch, Carol Baskin.
Carol Baskin. Thank you, Joe. I didn't realize you could teleport yourself from jail into Sean's head. Baskin was awarded Joe's Zoo.
What? She has a zoo now?
She has the zoo. They're supposed to vacate the property, and they're supposed to vacate any and all animals that are on the property. So I'm kind of like, well, was it a victory for her? Because
where are the animals going to go?
Yeah, good question.
What happened to? Is this very recent?
Well, you're breaking up bad.
What happened to? What the hell was the guy? Is it Jeff Lowe? Was it Jeff Lowe?
Jeff Lowe
had bought it from him.
Yeah, well, he didn't buy it. He got swindled out of it.
Joe,
You completely.
Yeah, he never bought it. He just had it like he or something. But she was awarded the zoo because of a legal court thing, and he has to leave. Him and his wife are the ones who have to leave. They were at the zoo. They've been running it, and they've been ordered to vacate. They have 120 days to leave. But apparently he's setting up his own zoo. A zoo that's actually going to be called Tiger King Zoo out in like California or something like that.
That's
yeah.
Yeah, assholes.
I know.
And then, of course, there was that article about the lawyer. Did you see that?
No.
He had an expert look at the signatures, and the signature that signed all the property over to Carol was a perfect copy of one of his other signatures. And even though you sign your name all the time, you'll never find two the same. So it was like this was a couple of weeks ago, maybe a month ago or so. That was out there, and I was like, awkward. Uh-oh, what's going on here? But now she got the thing, so she's probably super happy. And Andrew's favorite person, her husband's probably like cracking a bottle of champagne right now.
That piece of shit.
Speaking of which, I thought we were going to make a feature on the show. Fuck that guy.
Fuck that guy.
Oh, yeah.
Definitely Carol Baskin's husband. Fuck him. Actually, that was like the unofficial start to Fuck That Guy. This was before we even talked about it, but when I mentioned it on the Tiger King episode, we all pretty much agreed, like, yeah, fuck him.
Fuck that guy. No, absolutely. So I think maybe, okay, so here's a new segment on the show, folks. Hashtag fuck that guy. Does anybody have any guy that you want to say fuck that guy? And to be fair, fuck that guy doesn't necessarily apply to just a man. It could be a woman, it could be a kid, it could be a bear, it could be a squirrel, whatever, but fuck that guy. So, gents, any takers on fuck that guy? And got anything to bitch about? We've been indoors this whole time. No? Yes, no? You guys are completely frozen right now.
You froze for a second there.
Yeah, you froze up a bit. Henry Cavill, he's dreamy. Hashtag fuck that guy.
He is dreamy, especially in The Witcher.
I will say if Jeff Lowe is trying to make a new zoo and call it the Tiger King Zoo and make all this money off of Tiger King, fuck that guy. So fuck you, Jeff Lowe.
And no kidding.
Yeah, I hope that he falls asleep lounging in a pool somewhere and a certain gentleman comes by and mistakes him for a floating device. Lovingly cradles him in his arms and takes him home back to his little cabin.
Dude, that would be hashtag fuck that guy all over the place.
He's like, ooh, you putting up a fight for a pool toy. Keep the bandana on, okay.
That's right. It's like the gimpy leg's gonna be just kind of like. So now I feel under pressure. I don't have a fuck that guy ready. I mean, no, I do. One of the neighbors, I've been burning some garbage in the fucking backyard. So I'm like choking and wheezing these days. Like seriously, like just setting fires in the backyard. So fuck that guy, fucking neighbor. Fuck him. Idiot.
Fuck that guy.
Fires to, do you know?
No clue. I'm guessing somebody did some remodeling in their house. And then instead of putting the garbage, which would let everybody, town included, see they've done some remodeling, they're burning the old wood in the backyard.
Yeah, fuck that guy.
No one knows you did illegal construction in your house. That's what I think.
Well, that's stupid. He did that. If he did do that, that's silly. I mean, if you never leave the house, then I guess fine. But if you ever try and sell that house, that's going to come to bite him on the ass.
Absolutely.
You won't be able to sell the house. They'll be like, this is against code.
What's this? Right. How did this get here? You need to get a permit for this.
Yeah.
And if he gets a permit for that, he's not going to be able to sell it. Absolutely right. So then, gents, why don't we try and summarize then what's going on with Florida Man and why is he so prevalent in Florida? Because, I mean, to be fair, there's crazy shit that happens all over the country.
Right.
Right? All over the U.S., there's like occasionally crazy thing, like, you know, man in Wyoming, man in New York City, you know, everywhere. But for some reason, Florida is like the king of this.
Yeah.
I have no idea why. Is it the water? Is it the heat?
The only speculation I have, unfortunately, is I wish I had something funnier. Mine is more probably realistic and a tiny bit sad. They say that Florida has one of the worst, is one of the worst states in the entire country for education. So I think it starts at a young age, sadly, that the education system is really shitty there, and people are not very well educated. They're economically, outside of tourism, there's not much there. And there's a lot of drug use. Probably the two are correlated. So I think you get highly uneducated people, a lot of drugs, warm temperatures, and alligators together. It's a recipe for disaster.
Fucking A, man. The kid just went all philosophical here. I'm like, wow, that was like worthy of an NPR podcast. What the fuck are you doing here, guy? We're supposed to be funny. What the hell? Jesus. Damn. Now I have to try and think of something so I sound smart.
No, try, do something funny. I didn't want to say that. That's the best I had.
I feel like maybe one of the reasons potential here is being a husband of a wife who had a Jewish grandmother. I can attest for the fact that Jewish grandmothers, as loving and wonderful as they can be difficult people to deal with. Like they can be hard people. They can push you to the edge, and they can say things that can make you, you know, start to like, lots of, you know, sort of like, oh, you look beautifully fat. That kind of, you know.
Right.
Well, don't you think fat is beautiful? Then why are you so fat? Like that kind of shtick. But that's fine. Finish your food. What are you trying to do? Like that's kind of the modus operandi. And I feel like in a whole state where like it's full of them, like they got away and they're all just full of, half the state is just Jewish grandmothers.
I mean, it's a solid theory if all the Florida men arrested were Jewish. But they don't seem to have Jewish last names.
There's not, you're right. There are no, my theory is awful. There's no Jewish Florida men.
Are the majority of the old people that live in Florida Jewish?
A lot of them.
New York retirees, yeah.
I know, yeah. Okay, that makes sense. There's a good number then. Okay.
Like alligators as well. Alligators. That's something, you know.
I will regale you with my theory. And I believe it is a solid theory. It's one based on the science of mysticism. And I think it's because Florida is really shaped like the penis of North America. And I think people who live there are doomed to be expelled in one way or another through the urethra, if you will. That is I-95. And therefore, I think with a couple of...
Does that make Cuba a kidney stone?
What's that?
Does that make Cuba like a kidney stone?
No, that makes all the Florida men kidney stones. No. Cuba would be... Oh, that's a good question. What is it shaped like? It's kind of like... Maybe condom? I don't know. Anyway, so I believe that there's an ancient curse, an ancient Native American curse on basically all the people there that have taken the land from the Seminoles. And that's why they're so Floridian.
Wow.
It makes sense. That's like my favorite. I forgot which comedian said it. So me a few years ago, I think when Trump was elected or somewhere around there, and it's like one of my favorite one-liners, but it's so funny. Where it was a British comedian, I'm pretty sure, and he said like, "Oh, America, United States of America, there's some crazy stuff going on in that country right now. It's almost as if they built it on top of an Indian burial ground." Right.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
Pretty
Yeah.
much.
It's the plot of every Stephen King straight to movie DVD of like the mid 80s.
Pretty much.
But yeah, that's true.
Speaking of movies, I think for the next episode we have to do what you found, Sean.
Velocipasta.
Velocipasta.
It's not
that are tuning into this episode, that will be probably our next show, Velocipasta.
Yeah. As much as the title and the picture intrigued me, it was the description that got me more than anything.
The log line, without a doubt. Please read it. Do you have it in front of you?
It's fantastic.
There's so much. There is so much in these two sentences. After losing his parents, a priest travels to China, where he inherits a mysterious ability that allows him to turn into a dinosaur. At first, horrified by this new power, a prostitute convinces him to use it to fight crime and ninjas.
Doesn't get any better. I mean, doesn't really get any better. That log line. And my wife, as most wives of guys that do stuff like this, have a very low tolerance for bullshit. But when I read that log line, she was like, "Oh my God, that sounds like the best movie ever. You have to watch it."
It's an hour and 10 minutes long.
Perfect. It's perfect. We should do a live premiere and watch it live on YouTube.
I was just gonna say we should try and do one of those watch along things or something so we can watch it like together. That would.
I don't know if we get the rights to do that though.
Oh.
But we can watch it while Zooming.
Right.
Which will be an hour of just boring material. So, I mean, it's right on par with what we do with the show. So I think our fan base will be very much impressed.
Yeah.
We could watch it while Zooming and then immediately go from that into recording a podcast about it. And then we can cut up the footage of us watching it for promo materials of all of our crazy reactions, like you did with the Paris Hilton when we first watched that.
Absolutely. No, you're right. We should. But I definitely, because it's almost a moral imperative now to watch Velocipasta.
Oh, absolutely.
Oh, yeah.
Without a doubt.
And I think we can all agree that, assuming everything that it says in that log line, that this gentleman who is a pastor goes to China, gains this ability, meets a prostitute, fights crime and ninjas, as long as all of that happens like we're told it will, this is likely the greatest movie ever made.
Ever. Well, I love the picture when Sean posted it. It said like, "There's no such thing as a perfect movie." Oh, it's just like, it's like, yeah, I'll be damned. It is the perfect movie.
Yeah.
You got the hooker with the heart of gold. You got the priest who's conflicted because his parents are dead. He wants to sleep with the hooker, but he's worried about tearing her apart when he turns into a dinosaur. And she talks him into fighting crime, and ninjas show up.
I just wish it could be casted. Like, I wish you could get, like, already I'm thinking Jeff Goldblum as the dinosaur expert, making a cameo. Maybe Christopher Walken plays like the pastor's, like the head priest.
Oh, head priest. Oh, yeah.
Jackie Chan perhaps is in there as some kind of.
Jackie Chan or Jet Li is the mystic that tells him why exactly he inherited the Velocipasta power.
Mm.
The hooker with the heart of gold. Dakota Johnson. Who else?
Okay.
Or Goldie Hawn. I mean, one or the other.
Yeah.
Or, I mean, honestly, I'd love Meryl Streep for that role, but I don't know if she'd take it. It might be below her pay grade.
Bear with me. I'm thinking Cher.
Yeah.
For a big comeback role.
Cher? Yeah.
Hey, Pastor.
But you know, oh, I got it perfect. And you don't even have to do too much for CGI. Matthew Broderick as the priest, and then Dave Bautista, in just some green paint and some like leather pieces on him when he's the Velocipaster. Kind of like the old Hulk TV show. Just like give him a bad wig or something.
Yeah.
Scales on him.
I thought when you were saying CGI, I thought you were going to say de-age Robert De Niro and put him in it.
Robert De Niro would be a good priest for that. He really would. And you know what? We're thinking inside the box here. How about the prostitute with a heart of gold is Tobey Maguire?
Right.
No one said, it has to be a female prostitute.
Yeah, you can have some weird casting. I feel like...
Especially if he's a Catholic priest, that would work.
Tobey Maguire's too old.
True. Maybe we could get the kid from Stranger Things to do it.
Yeah, I like that. And like Paulie Shaw can play the pimp.
What are you doing? The weekend. Nice. All right. Yeah, we're definitely going to have to do Velocipaster. Okay, so we've determined that Florida is either under a curse, old Native American curse. Sean, what was your reasoning?
Jewish grandmothers.
That's right. Jewish grandmothers drove him crazy. And Andrew gave us an NPR philosophical socioeconomic explanation with bad education and the sun and the heat and alligators.
Yeah.
So he included nurture versus nature in the whole thing. So it was like trading places, but all in Florida, and that's why they're so whack.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Well, we figured that out. How about we go to our beer by Southern Tier Brewing Company out of Lakewood, New York. NuJuice IPA. Mine is done, and I can say happily, I'm very happy with how it tasted. Either of you guys want to go first, or you want me to go first? What do you want to do? I'll go first. Since you guys are so vocal. All right, so this is a very, very nice beer. It's not too heavy on the hops, but they definitely come through. And it drinks a lot lighter than the 6%. The carbonation is not too crazy, but a nice level of it. And like I said, going back to our old measuring stick, if there's a barbecue and this is the only beer they have, I'm perfectly happy with that, man. I really am. I got nothing to complain about. And like I said, you don't think you're drinking much, but at 6%, I can see myself having 4 of these and not even thinking about it. Pretty much. So with all of that in mind, I'll give NuJuice IPA a solid 4.0. So let's go next.
I'll go. Yeah, no, I liked it. I liked it as well. Good. Yeah, I liked it a lot better this time around than I did the first time. I think I've got another one because there was 3 of each in the pack, and I had 1, and this is the second. I think I liked it better this time, but it's hard to tell because I drank a few one after the other, and it messed up my palate, I guess. It wasn't very easy to distinguish between them. At one point I had one I didn't like too much, and that clouded the rest of them, I think. But yeah, if I'd have had this in isolation, I probably would have realized it was a lot better beer than I remembered it being. But yeah, like you said, very nice, very light. I could drink in a like I said, in a barbecue. This would be great. Talking about barbecues, for example, just the other week, we had a socially distant barbecue at my father-in-law, my mother and father-in-law's house, and I brought some IPA. I brought Omegang IPA, which I'd never tried because I thought, I was like, I want an IPA. It's warm outside. I want something that's what I fancy. But I was like, what do I want? There's so many choices with IPA. Like, God knows, like, there's impossible to pick. So I went, screw it. I'll go with a brewery I know I like their beer, and let's assume it's good. And oh my God, I'd never seen it anywhere even. And it wasn't even like reviews online. I don't know if it was either super new or they did a very small batch. And it was very nice, but my father-in-law wanted none of it because it was an IPA, and he's a man of a certain age, and he was like, I can't drink IPA. So instead, he had a warm Stella Artois instead of a nice cold Omegang. Oh. Yeah. But if I'd have had these, I'd have probably sunk twice the amount of the Omegang I did, just because the Omegang was nice, but it was a little more, it demanded a little more of you. This is very light, very easy to drink.
What was the Omegang IPA called? Namaste or something like that?
Namaste. Yeah, it was called Namaste. And it was nice. It was good. It wasn't like a crazy IPA, but it was there was a little more going for it that I wouldn't, I'd have a couple and then maybe like, okay. But this I could have 4 or 5 of these easy. So I think, yeah, I agree. I would give this probably a 4.1.
Okay. 4.1, sure. And Andrew, what's your take?
I'm with you guys on pretty much everything you said. I really like it. Nothing about it blows me away. I don't know that there's anything that really I could say is incredibly special about it. I do like it's got great flavor. It's a nice IPA, but like you guys said, it's nice and light, especially if it's like a sunny day and you're outside. I could have a few of these and it's good. It doesn't feel heavy for 6%, I guess I'm a little skewed because I've drank pretty much at least one of each of these from the pack. Mm-hmm. And all of the Southern Tier beers, they're all really, really good, but none of them really stood out that much. Like after a while, they all kind of seemed very similar, like with just some slight variation.
I was going to say, but because they were all IPAs, weren't they, in the pack?
There were like, how many beers were there? So I think there were 5 beers in the pack, and I think 3 or 4 of them were IPA. No, 4 of them were IPAs.
4 of them, I think. Yeah.
Maybe it's just that they're all IPAs, but so I don't know if that has skewed me a little bit and makes me kind of feel like it's not that special. Whereas, I keep thinking back to like that 6 point we had a couple episodes ago, or maybe our last episode. Was that the last one? That to me is like a really good IPA, but there's something about it that stands out and it was unique, and it like, I could just, it seems special in a way. It wasn't just another IPA, whereas this is really, really good. I have no issues with it. It just didn't blow me away. But I'm close with you guys. I'll give it like a 3.8.
Okay, that's fair. Yeah, Bengali was the last 2 episodes. We had the Ancient Aliens.
That's right.
Like in a double episode. And just to, as an example, generally I don't go crazy with the IPAs unless I'm buying stuff from Elementary because it's fresh. I went back and I bought like 2 more packs of Bengali because that stuff is that's a solid. So good.
Yeah.
I just thought of the fuck that guy. Speaking of, we're talking of all this beer, and you might appreciate this, Andrew, with being a marketing guy. Mm-hmm. I hate whoever does it when you go to the beer section and they make the cans and it just looks like, if you ever get a chance, go online and look up puppy throws up balloons. Some silly puppy basically ate a bag of balloons and they have the video of him like throwing it all up. And just rainbow color, and at first you're like, what the hell? Because they're unnatural, the brightness of the colors, and you're realizing the silly puppy ate a bag of balloons. And these are the colors that they put on a can of beer. I have no idea what kind of beer it is. You can't see the lettering from all the freaking squiggly lines and all the colors. And I'd love to try this beer, but I don't even know what it is. It's like, it's a 10-minute search just to find out what kind of beer it is. And it makes me absolutely nuts. I don't know who these marketing guys are that make these things, but I hate it. And in the stores, ironically, they'll stack them so that all these just multicolored melted Crayola shit are all stacked on top of each other. And I'm just like, yeah, no, I can't even be bothered. Because
this is some brand you're not even sure what brand it is, just a can you can't.
Yes, and it's not just one brand. There's a bunch of them that do it.
All the local beers, yeah.
Yeah, a lot of the smaller like craft brew things, they like print their labels in-house, and I've seen ones like LIC Beer Project, which I haven't had, but I've seen them in the store. Their cans, they have like local artists, I think, or I don't know, that design their cans. So it's all like, it almost looks like graffiti design. So the can looks fantastic. But you do kind of got to get in there to figure out what it is. So it's probably one of those or something.
I think we had a LIC Beer Project beer on the show at some point.
Did you guys? Probably a while ago.
I'll have to look. You know, we have so many at this point. I have to actually put together a list. So before we choose a beer, like, oh no, we did this one in an episode. Like I said, we're perfectly poised to do a great like countdown next year of just drinks.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So make sure you take your liver health enzymes and all of that, because that's going to be a lot of drinking, my friend. Break down what's the best beer.
Yeah. No, that'll be interesting. Well, I think we already we're in danger of finding out that the best beer is just a martini.
Yes. Or a scotch. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
Like, I really like this beer. This beer's
Yes, absolutely. Oh, speaking of that, Andrew, do you want me to go live and make a Murray Hill before your premiere?
A Murray Hill?
Hey?
What?
Do you want me to go live and make a Murray Hill for Thirsty Thursday before your premiere?
Oh yeah, that'd be cool.
Okay. So I'll put that out so people can get their ingredients.
Yeah. What's in that?
It's basically a Manhattan. Instead of rye, I use regular whiskey, and I put the 3 frozen cranberries in there.
Oh, okay. Sorry.
So,
sounds good.
All right, folks. So there you have it. Florida Man is one of 3 things. We'll let you decide which one of 3 things it is: Jewish grandmothers, socioeconomic development, or a Native American curse that causes Florida Man. And our beer for today is NuJuice IPA by Southern Tier Brewing Company out of Lakewood, New York. We all enjoyed it thoroughly. 6% ABV and 30 IBU. Sean gave it a 4.1. I gave it a 4.0, and Andrew gave it a 3.8. Which, as we know, because we've had many beers, those are solid grades.
Yes, indeed.
All right. Anything else, boys, to add?
There's one thing. I just found it interesting. I thought it was a Florida story, but it's not a Florida story. That's what I was going to say, and it wasn't. It's technically a California story, but it probably should be Florida as well. I thought it was very interesting. I read this. Disney, clever bastards they are, knocking it out of the park. Apparently, there's an area in California, in Disneyland, that is outside of Disney, but it's like a shopping, restaurant, cafe complex outside of Disney, and it's called Disney Springs, I think.
Mm-hmm.
It's like a little, almost like a mall, but themed. And because Disney's all closed, they reopened it the other week for social distancing, kind of like, stuff. And people came there, and it's a nice, they have ponds and trees, and it's typical Disney, so it looks nice, and people can go and they can pick up curbside food or whatever. So they did that. But I thought was such genius is they deployed the stormtroopers from Star Wars land out in there to keep people social distancing. So if they saw anybody who was not following the rules, the stormtroopers bossed them around in full stormtrooper character.
I
didn't hear about this.
Bit of marketing. That's a brilliant bit of marketing.
They're like, move on, get out of here, more space. Yeah.
These are the jokes you're looking for. Keep moving.
Yeah, it's great. You can't argue with it. Like, you can't get angry. It's like a stormtrooper just told me to just,
Fuck off. Yeah.
Genius.
Yeah.
It is. It's brilliant. That's awesome.
Yeah, it's good.
All right, folks. Well, that's episode 80.
Wow.
80. So thank you all for tuning in. Again, stay safe. Listen to the experts. And if you can, help to make meaningful change so that we have a just place to live in. That's what I'm going to say on it. So thank you all for tuning in. We'll see you guys next time when we're going to go over
Velocipasta.
Guys, take it easy now.
Bye, everybody.